How are we doing, men? Coach James, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to take you through my structure for my lower body sessions. This is what I do 99% of the time when it comes to training lower body. Now, I'm fortunate, I train in my private personal training facility, so I can superset quite easily between exercises. And as if you've watched my two other videos, the upper body or the arm video, then that's what I love to do, is supersets. Because as we get into your 40s, guys, if you still train, which you should be, you'll know that time is an issue. Time can be a barrier. You'll have business to deal with, family to deal with, all of these things, and you want to get in and out the gym. So when I'm structuring training for myself and my clients, it's always how efficient can we be with the time, and doing supersets is by far, for me, I hate doing single exercises, I'll be honest with you. It just kind of bores the life out of me. Long rest periods, single exercises, I do it now and again, I go through these phases. And if I have a client who's ready to really focus on like a deadlift or a squat or a bench press, we'll give them a single exercise, but not often. So I'll take you through what the workout was today. If you watched the other videos, if you haven't, I structure my sets and reps for time under tension, meaning I set a timer and I lift for 45 seconds. I take a 30-second recovery, I lift for 45 seconds so that I have a set time under tension. Now the reps can vary depending on how big a range of motion the movement is. For example, I have barbell back squats and barbell deadlift. I'm getting between 7 and 9 reps. On the hamstring curl, I'm getting between 10 and 14 reps. Same on the leg extension. So there's small intricacies there to do with that, but always focusing on slowing down the eccentric, focusing on lifting with total control, trying to minimise the momentum. So slowing the way down, a little bit more power and speed in the way up, but with control. Because at the end of the day, guys, as you get into your 40s, there is less and less you will get away with. I've seen it with my clients in the 40s. I'm telling them, slow it down, you're too heavy, let's get the weight back. They don't listen, boom, injured. Small injuries, but still it doesn't matter, it can set your training back. So for me, it's lifting heavy enough to challenge the muscle, lifting with control. And I like to focus on something called the 4Ts. I actually took this from a very famous bodybuilder called Ben Pakulski, where he says, let's look at what the 4Ts are. What is the target muscle for that exercise? What we're going to look at, what is the best technique for that exercise? Right, because there's small intricacies to technique. What is the time under tension for that exercise? What is the tempo for that exercise? So what's the eccentric, what's the concentric, what are the isometric pauses potentially within the exercise? Because if you've lifted for any length of time, there's certain exercises that just don't make sense to go too slow on certain parts of the movement. So let's go through the exercises. I'll do one set on each exercise. I've just completed the workout, but I'm just going to show you the exercises and the setup itself and how I try to teach to my clients, but also how I try and keep the technique for myself. So watch in. So guys, first superset was leg extensions into a barbell deadlift, trying to really slow the eccentrics down on both exercises, lifting with control. Now, when it comes to leg extensions, I always like to tell the client, and for myself, handles are here for a reason, to anchor your butt. We want to anchor the hips back and down into the seat as best we can. so that when we extend, we're getting as much of a shortening and a lengthening of the muscle as we can. Try not to bounce in the seat. Try not to use too much momentum as you do leg extensions. I like to try and line the hips, the knees and the ankles up as we do this exercise. That would be my main tips for you. So, from here, all the way down to the bottom, don't take tension off. Like so. So challenge the muscle. Again, you can go for reps if you really want to. I like higher reps on a leg extension. I don't like the feeling of really heavy, low rep leg extensions. Again, just personal preference. Guys, as you'll see, I've not actually got a lot of weight on it today. I've only got 70 kilos in total. What I'm trying to do is just lift with total control and then reset in the bottom position for every rep and then explode from the bottom. So, guys, with a deadlift, get yourself set up with the bar across the midline of the foot so that there's a gap between your bar and the shin, because as you go down, the shins are going to just shift forward against the bar. So if you're too close, you go down, the bar will move away from your centre of mass. You don't want that. So, just here. From here, what I like to tell clients is get your hands by your sides, push the hips back, and start to go down towards the bar. Now, why do we do that? What happens is, with what I've seen with clients, is they go down to pick up the bar and they're already in an unsafe position for the upper back. Look at this massive rounding of the back. So we want to go down as if we're going to do a full rep. Get the bar, pull yourself into position. Pull the lats tight, shoulder blades into their pockets. From here, hips back. Now, again, little tip for you. Think of every rep as an individual rep. Don't go down to the bottom and bounce off the floor. Go down, re-tighten your lats, drive your feet into the floor. Don't just bounce, don't do CrossFit reps. Do proper deadlift reps. You're going to engage more muscle. You're also going to see your true strength and less chance of injury, which is the most important thing as we get older, guys. Trust me, you want to be lifting for the rest of your life as best you can. So there's the first superset. Next one is hamstring curls. For the hamstring curls, guys, we're trying to keep the pelvis, lower back as steady as we can, anchoring this here. Again, you're trying to keep the pelvis steady because that is where the hamstrings come up and join on in connection with the glutes. So if we can keep that steady, we get more of a lengthening and a shortening of those muscles, and less momentum, better for the hamstrings themselves, right? If your lower back's all over the place and you're just using momentum, then we're just cheating, guys, and there's less tension on the target muscle. So let's go. Slow from the top, fight against the weight. Lengthen. Fight against the weight from the top. so okay, let's now go to the squat. Barbell back squat, heels raised. Again guys, I'm using this heel raise today. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm trying to get deeper into the squat and really control the movements with a pause. So I'm going for a tempo with these with 2 seconds down, a 1 second pause at the bottom, big drive out the bottom, slight pause at the top to get my breath, 2 seconds down, 1 second pause, big drive up with this. Now, this should allow you to get into a deeper squat, should allow you to keep your torso slightly more upright, which puts more emphasis on the squats, on the quads, sorry. If you're like me and you're more of a hip dominant squatter because of a lack of mobility at the ankle, lack of dorsiflexion, then this is a great option for you. Slightly lighter, but also allowing you to get deeper into the movement. So watch in. Okay guys, so when you're squatting, I always tell clients, listen, get the bar in the middle. Always get the correct hand position, take a strong grip on the bar. Sit it on your traps, not the top of your spine, at your neck. Get it on your traps, pull the back muscles tight, lift. Okay, so pull back muscles tight, abs tight. That's what I was doing with that. Nice controlled reps again. For me today, not too heavy. I've already done some 1Ks, some fast 1Ks this morning, 7 o'clock this morning. So a little bit tired, fatigued. End of the week, a little bit tired, fatigued. Another little tip for you, listen to your body in your 40s. Listen to it. And again, you should stay free of injury. So let's go into the last superset, guys. Guys, let me get all my excuses out the way with these tiny calves. Let me tell you the story. I used to train these calves 3 times a week, 4 times, 5 times. Wouldn't budge, would not budge. On one of my other videos I mentioned I went back to Scotland to train with John Meadows. He had the biggest calves I've ever seen in my life. Obviously he was on gear, obviously he's a professional bodybuilder, but you take tips from these guys. They're the masters of getting lean, they're the masters of building muscle, taking the drugs aside, but he was a tiny little guy. So there was genetics involved as well, but he told me, I said, what's your routine? And for guys that are trying to build their calves, he would give them calf training 6 times a week. And he used to have a mental, absolutely mental calf routine, where what you would do is, you would do full reps, let's say 10 reps for the calves, just normal. Then you would just focus in that bottom position, stretch position, for like 10, then you would then take it up into the top position and just focus on these partials at the top as well. And in total it was like 30 reps or something. It was brutal. I went through a spell of that, trying to grow them, nothing. There's a massive genetic component for legs, more than any other muscle group, in my opinion. Some guys are just born with huge legs, huge calves. I believe, without obviously no drug enhancement, legs are the hardest muscle group to change. That's just my opinion, what I've seen with my own body over the years. So I went through the spell of trying to hammer them 3 times a week, all of that stuff, and then I was like, fuck that. I mean, it was just horrendous. training three leg sessions per week. So I'm now happy. Okay, they're strong, they're lean enough, that'll do me going into my 40s and 50s. I'm done with absolutely smashing it in the bits and having DOMs for 5 days. Let me know in the comments how you've got on with training legs, please, because that's what I've seen. You'll see the fat dad walking his dog with big massive calves. Asian guys normally big massive quads and big massive calves as well, doing nothing with them. I played football with guys who had huge calves, don't even go to the gym. So it's a massive genetic component to calves. Some people are just built with them. Anyway, let's go to the last exercise. Slight elevation for the alternating reverse lunge on the Smith machine. Just for a little bit more depth, a little bit more glutes at the bottom. So there you go, guys. Make sure if you're elevating your feet, make sure you're taking the back knee behind and below the step that you're on or the plate that you're on. I see people doing stuff like this in gyms and they're not even going into the depth that they need to for the exercise to be effective. So that's the structure. I always have 6 exercises, never more. I always try and keep my workout 60 minutes or less, guys. And hopefully if you're in your 40s, you're doing the same. If you've got all your time in the world in your 40s, let me know how you manage that, please. How did you come to that? Are you a retired millionaire? But anyway, there's a drop off, right? In terms of benefit of how long we want to train and junk exercises, junk reps, all of that stuff as well. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you've not already, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to bring you no nonsense, no bullshit information from my 27 years of training myself, 14 years of training thousands of clients now, and taking it away from all the fucking tomfoolery and clownism which is happening out there nowadays on these social media channels. It's a bit of a joke. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel. Take care, guys.